Hello everyone. I've had results from my tribunal today, and I won. Basically, the appeal against the respondent's review decision is dismissed, and therefore, in all these circumstances, the appeal succeeds. So my appeal succeeded for me to gain compensation, having delayed my telling the police about the crime against me. So I'm going to be a bit vague as to what I'm speaking about with regards to the dates. I'm sure that no one would find me through that, but that's just simple paranoia. We have the allowance to be anonymous as victims of rape, and I'd like to maintain that anonymity. So it says the appellant claims compensation for an assault in which she was raped, and it also supplies the date and year. She reported the rape to the police 3 years later. She appeals against the refusal of compensation under paragraph 22 of the scheme that she did not report the incident to the police as soon as reasonably practicable. The appellant gave lengthy oral evidence. She told us that she did not make an initial report of the rape because, as is documented, she was on the point of having brain surgery to mitigate the effects of an epileptic condition. Thereafter, she underwent a recovery period and concentrated as well on parenting her toddler son by herself. Her evidence was that she had no real recollection of the assault for 2 years. 2 years later, she told her GP about the rape, and she was referred to counselling, which she underwent for a few months. 2 months after the counselling, she reported the assault to the police. During the 1-year period, she had a real fear that if she reported the crime, she may have been accused of racism and arrested and imprisoned herself and her son removed from her custody. The respondent's representative submitted that, if we accepted this evidence, we should allow the appeal. We did find the appellant a truthful witness. She has clearly suffered serious physical and mental health problems before and after this assault. Whilst her fears about reporting may have been unfounded, we accept that they were honestly and genuinely felt. We accept that the appellant had no effective recollection of the assault for 2 years and thereafter came slowly to terms with it, and the delay from then until the actual report was reasonable in all the circumstances. In these circumstances, the appeal succeeds under paragraph 22. Now, first of all, it's fantastic to hear that they, genuinely believed what I had to say within the courtroom. That was, I was emotional, but it's just a huge relief to hear that they did believe what I had to say. Secondly, it's really important that they have acknowledged that I had an overwhelming fear that if I reported the crime, then I may have been accused of racism and arrested and imprisoned myself. Obviously, what they do include in that sentence is that I had a fear that my son would be removed from my custody, which obviously was something that I was very fearful of. But the acknowledgement that I had this fear of being accused of racism and arrest and imprisonment, they accept that, and that's a real step forward. I think these these judges, I feel sometimes that these judges and these academics who sit with the judge, they are sometimes very extreme to the left, and it worries me and panics me as to how shielded a lot of our society are with being able to say, well, that's racism, so I want them arrested. I think that the acknowledgement that it was a very real fear is wonderful. I hope that this means that other women who have, or victims, sorry, who have faced these consequences, not only with the migrant rape crisis, but the Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs, which I consider to be extremist sexual violence against women. I think they are extremists, and they are getting their extremism from certain written pieces, like the Quran. So I think that it's, the acknowledgement is wonderful. I feel over the moon about it. I've had a little bit of time to really contemplate what's been said and how it's been addressed. I saw this picture. This completely picks up what had happened with me on my walk home. Obviously, it was only one man, not two, but this is what was going on. If you look at this image, yeah, it absolutely, completely recognizes what I was facing, and screaming at him to get off, and then fuck off eventually, I had to say, and that's when he did appear to, but he actually didn't. But this image here just it's it says it all, really. So yes, I'm really glad with that. I think that we can, other women can use this as reasoning now in their cases, which is wonderful. I hope that that word gets around that women can use, or victims can use, this as reasoning. I don't know how to get that message across. I've messaged a few people, and I have a few live streams to do with other people, but hopefully there will be it will be recognized by people who are helping those who have actually been raped or sexually assaulted, like myself and many of the Rotherham victims and the alike of grooming gangs and extremist sexual violence taken place by certain religions. I think that I will leave it there. If you could help by subscribing and encouraging other people to subscribe, I'd be really grateful, because I'm up against the clock with YouTube, and I don't actually make any money, but any kind of money which I did make would help towards my website, which I want to extend so that as people learn about me, they can start using it for, something like a forum or something on there is what my aim is. So any help that you can provide with ensuring that I get to that 1,000 subscribers mark would be really, really appreciated. And I won. I won. I'm so proud that I won. I was feeling so upset before, and really, I overwhelmed with emotions and just shock that I won. But I'm so pleased that I did it, and I'm so pleased that I represented myself, and they saw just how much it had affected me, and they accepted that, and that's brilliant. So I'm so proud of myself. Yeah. Thank you for listening. Bye.